Okay, so for this week, we're going to work on task number 2, which is your exterior sign, the color schemes that you have on the outside of your restaurant, and either a logo or a slogan that goes with your overall restaurant theme. So your primary objective this week is to create an exterior sign that will work with the outside of a building. You need to have a logo or a slogan. We'll talk about those in just a sec. And then just a general design of the outside of your restaurant, things you want to think about, colors, plans that appeal to the customers, what logo might grab somebody's attention, and what colors might relate to your overall style or type of restaurant. You can click on these individual sites to get a better understanding of what works well to make the restaurants more attractive to those who are walking past it, to get customers to come in the door. And here are some specific things that relate to what the consumer or what the customer needs to see as quickly as possible. So they obviously need to see your restaurant's name. They need to be able to figure out from looking at it what is the style of food, maybe how expensive the restaurant is. Just from the exterior, you can tell that by the choice of colors, right? And you need to have one or more of the following. So you need to have either a logo or a slogan. And just so you can better understand, a logo is a little visual of some kind. So it could be this little guy here. It could be this symbol here for Walmart. It could be the swoosh. It could be the M for McDonald's, right? Any little symbol or visual, a little Coca-Cola bottle, just that little thing right there would be a logo. A slogan is something written, usually underneath, it's almost like a tagline or something that connects with the company. So for Nike, the slogan is just do it. For Walmart, save money, live better. For FedEx, the world's on time. For McDonald's, the slogan is I'm loving it. So you choose a slogan or a logo. Choose one or the other. You don't need both. You can just choose one or the other to include on your restaurant exterior. So here are some different examples, right? Just kind of get your brain going on what you might want it to look like. And you'll be designing the exterior of a restaurant. And here are some other examples, right, where we see a logo, which is the image. So the logo is the pizza. The logo is the ramen bowl here. And then the slogan, always good, always vegan, right? It's pizza and more, right? Anything that's written as like a little line below the title of the company or restaurant is called the slogan. All right, so here you have step-by-step directions on how to complete the task for this week. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing I'm going to do, and I have one open, but I'll close that in a minute, is I'm going to go to this program. I've heard it called Photopea. I've heard it called Photopea. Either way, this is the site we're going to go to. It's free. When you first go onto this site, you can just go ahead and start making a brand new project. If you want to log in, you can do that up here. So I'll log out so you can see it. So if I wanted to log in, I would go to Google. I would choose my school login, and then we're doing the free one. We don't need to do anything extra, right? If you don't want to log in, that's fine. You don't have to. Just know that it won't save anywhere for you, okay? So as you're working, we'll start with a new project. Up here where it says name, we're going to put restaurant exterior. And for the size, make sure, hold on, let me check that. For the size, make sure it's inches, not pixels. Not pixels, has to be inches. Pixels are super small. Remember, like I had some people when they were working with Gravit, they accidentally chose pixels and there was like a teeny tiny project that you had to zoom in like crazy. So make sure it's set to inches. We're just going to go with the standard paper size of 11 wide and 8.5 tall and hit the create button. All right, I'm going to make a new layer. So I'm going to go up to layer and new. And I'm just going to put it in front of my background here. So when we make layers, in Gravit, they used to be over here. On this side, they're going to be over here. So it doesn't matter. It's the same general concept that we're going to have layers that we build up to bring in our image. So if we go back to our task here, it says you're going to right click on the image that you like best from the blank restaurant slide. So if I look at this slide deck, I put in here a whole bunch of images that are basically like outlines, right? So you can easily go in here and choose the color, choose what you want to be where, right? And most of these are like sketches, kind of like really simple outlines. If you don't like any of these, go and find your own. But again, I would try to find one that doesn't have color. That one's really blurry. I don't think I'd use that one. Try to find ones that don't have color already in them, so it's easy to select and put in the color that you like. Okay, so I think I'm gonna choose, I guess I'll go with this one. So I'm gonna right click on it and I'm gonna save as, and I'm gonna say this is my restaurant exterior, just so I know where it's at. And I'm gonna save it to my desktop, save. Now I'm gonna go back to what I started here. I'm gonna go to File, and I'm going to open in place. And I'm going to choose the one that I had titled Restaurant Exterior. There's so many because I had so many images. I think I might choose a different one actually now that I'm looking at these. I'm going to choose this one. Okay, so you saw all I did was I did open and place. So whatever image you like from the slideshow, you're welcome to use any of those. Again, if you wanted to find your own, you could just do a simple Google search and pull up, just type like restaurant sketch, and you can see tons of things. So here, let's do like a quick search. So if I wanted to do this, and you may want to type in exterior because these look like they're mostly interiors. Exterior. And then you'll see some of the ones that I put in there. There's some other ones. So say you like this one a ton. All you need to do is save the image and then bring it into the program. So if I wanted to save this one, save image as, save it, and then bring it in. Okay, so you can see it's easy. If you don't like any of the ones that I have and you want to choose a different one, go ahead and choose your own. You could even draw one in here if you really wanted to. Once you bring in an image, it's really important that you do this step. So you go up to Layer and you hit Rasterize. Okay. You'll notice there was a little square here. I'm going to go back so you can see it. See the little square that's there? When there's a square there like that, that means it hasn't been rasterized, and you can't edit it or do anything to it until it's rasterized. So again, you would go up to Layer and Rasterize. Once that little square is gone, then you can edit it however you want, okay? So if this is going to be my restaurant, I want to choose some colors and where I want to put the colors to go. So I'm going to use these outlines to kind of help me select areas that I'm going to add color to. Now I could come over here, just choose a paintbrush and then just start painting. But if I do that, if I'm sloppy or mess up, like, oh no, this whole area's like messed up, I have to undo it, right? So I'm not going to do that. Instead, I'm going to select an area. And then when I paint inside of it or color inside of it, it'll stay only in that area. Okay. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to go to the magic wand. So with this program, it's very similar to Photoshop. You basically select areas and then you edit those areas or do whatever you want once the area is selected. Okay. So if I'm selecting something on this, so I go over here, I could use the lasso tool to select something. I could use any of these tools, but I'm going to choose the magic wand. And the magic wand is going to try to find the borders of these things for me. So say I want to paint in this area. I'm going to go over here, select magic wand, and see how it's selected that area? There's a border line there. Now, if I go to paint, so I'm going to go back over here to my brush tool, and I want to paint this, look what happens. Even if I mess up and I'm like way over there, it's only painting in that selected area, okay? So I'm gonna undo that because I wanna select multiple areas and have them all be similar colors. So I'm gonna go back to my magic wand, make sure my magic wand is selected, and I'm gonna hold down the shift button. And I'm gonna select multiple areas at the same time. So do you see what's happening? All of these areas are being selected. I think I might get this little area here, down here for the sidewalk. Make it kind of crazy. So I'm going to choose all of these. I think that's good. Nope. I'm going to get right here and right here. And then this kind of feels like almost space-like. So I'm going to choose some sort of crazy color. I think it's got to be something bright. So you can see what I did over here. I went and hit, this is called the color picker. And I'm going to choose the color that I like. I can move this however I want it, wherever I want it. Once I like where it's at, then I'll hit OK. Now I'll come back to my paintbrush and I'll choose my paintbrush tool. Now I can do this little brush and paint in all of these areas, right? Or I can choose something a little bit bigger. I can change my size and get this done way faster with a big brush. So it's only going to color wherever I have that area selected. Okay, so all of that is that bright green color. Now I want to come in with a second color. I want to change things up. I'm going to choose another area to select. So before I move on, I'm going to change my size real quick, go back to something normal. And I'm going to go up to select and deselect. Now nothing is chosen. So if I was going to paint right now, it would paint all over everything, right? I don't want to do that. So I want to go choose my magic wand tool, so make sure it's selected here. And I'm going to click on the other areas that I want to paint a different color. So I'm going to go through here, choose these areas. You can zoom in too. I don't think we really need to too much with this one. So I'm just trying to make sure that all of this is selected. I think I'm going to select inside here too. And I'm going to select this pole and this little thing. All right, so now I'm going to make another color choice. Again, this can be whatever you like. I think I want something kind of pink, pinky purple. And then I'm going to hit OK. So again, to select more than one area is hold down shift. So hold down shift to select multiple areas. Now I'm going to come through with my brush tool. And it's not going to color the other areas. It's only going to color in the areas that I just selected. So I'm going to put my other color in here. And I'm going to paint all of these areas that are selected. Get over here. So I'm sure you can see how quickly I can then go up to deselect, choose another area, make sure I'm on my magic wand, and I'm going to choose the sidewalk and maybe the inside of these windows and maybe my door color. So you can see how quickly I can get this whole thing painted, background included. I think I'm going to choose something really bright. And then I'm going to come back, make sure I'm on my brush tool. I've selected multiple areas, make it a little bit bigger so I can get done faster. And then I'm going to paint everything else that I have selected this color. If I notice I went back and I'm like, oh, I missed that one there, I can just go back to my magic wand tool, hold down shift, and select this area back here. Then come back to my brush tool and add some yellow in there. I can very quickly choose to add some color to my sky if I want to. Make sure the whole thing is selected, then come in with the sky color, get a little more blue. Oops. I forgot to hit OK on that. Since I have my color that I like, make sure you hit OK, not X out. And then I will, instead of using my paintbrush tool, I'm going to choose this tool right here. It's called the paint bucket tool. I'm just going to drop it in this whole area. So like that way I can add the color wherever I want. So make sure my sky is chosen. Then come with my paint bucket tool and fill it in. Easy, right? So then I can choose my trees. I can fill in this area, however I want to do it. One of the next steps, so if we look over here, so we've gone to Photopea or Photopea, we've done this, we've created, we've opened and placed an image. We hit enter when it came in. We went into the layer and rasterized it. We used the magic wand. We used the color picker to choose different colors and use the brush tool to paint those areas. Then we can go in and select and deselect areas so that we can add new colors. Now to make a sign, so let's go back to our project here. So I have to figure out where do I want my sign to go. Hold on, that's really bugging me right there. We got some blue. There. I'm gonna go up and deselect. So I have to figure out where would be the best place for my sign. I mean, I could have one here. I could have one on top of here. I think it might be nice to have one right there. So I'm gonna come over here. And before I go any further, I'm gonna make a new layer. So if you see I have a layer underneath and a layer on top, if I need to add something to it, I can add it on top. Okay, so that way I don't mess up the colors that I already have on this one. So I'm gonna make, I think I'm gonna make a rectangle. And I'm gonna have a sign like right here. Now automatically it fills it with red. I do not want it to be red. I'm gonna choose a different color. So I'm gonna come right here and I'm gonna choose, ooh, I kind of like that teal color. I think I want something bright. All right, so that's gonna be where my sign is gonna go. And let me see how that looks. It's not bad. I think I might resize it a little bit. So I'm gonna go over here to free transform. So if I go to edit and free transform, I can adjust the size of it. Always grab the corners. Don't grab these. Do not. No. Don't grab these because it will stretch it weirdly. Always grab the corners to kind of get the general size that you want. And then if I want to rotate it a little bit, I can. Maybe move it over a little bit more. Okay, that looks pretty good to me. Now I'm going to make, once I finish editing it, if you have to do this step, again, it's free transform. So it's edit, free transform, and I can adjust the size or rotate it. When I'm done, I just hit enter. So if I come over here and I hit enter, now my sign's ready to go. And now I want to put my name in here. So maybe I call it the Cosmic Cafe because it just feels like spacey. And I'm going to choose this type. So I selected it and I'm going to find one that I like for this that fits with the theme. That's not bad. It's kind of hard to read though. What about this one? And then I can adjust the size up here. So what 30 looks like. That looks pretty good. Black does not go for a color, so I'm going to choose a different color. Maybe I go with that purple color that I had. Okay. Ooh, that doesn't look too bad. I think I'm going to shrink it down a little bit. just so it kind of fits where I want it to be on there. All right, let's see how that looks. Not bad, not bad. All right, so now I want to work on some sort of logo or slogan. So, I mean, obviously I would finish coloring this in, but just for the sake of time, I'm not going to do it right now. But for you, fill it in all the way and color it all the way you like it. So if I'm looking at this and I'm thinking about a logo, why don't I just type in Cosmic Cafe logo? Let's see what comes up. Maybe somebody has some interesting ideas. Oh, that's great, because it has like the space theme. This one's really good too. And I like the idea of a star with a ring around it. Okay, so maybe I'll take, I think I like this one the best. So I'm gonna borrow this one, so I'm just gonna save the image and have Cosmic Cafe on my desktop, save. Come back to my project here. I'll go to File, Open in Place. I'm looking for that Cosmic Cafe. Now, I noticed that it's right on top of, like, got mixed up with my text here. So I'm gonna hit Enter just to place it. And then I'm gonna make sure that my text layer is below it there. That's not confusing, okay. Now, notice again, there's that little box that's here. So this needs to be rasterized. So I'm gonna go up to Layer and Rasterize. Now I can edit it if I want to. So I don't need all of the rest of this stuff. I just want that little logo. I like that a lot. So I'm going to come in here with my magic wand tool. And I'm going to select the background, but not this area. So I'm going to delete a lot of this stuff, but I want to keep this. So I'm going to hold down the Alt key, and that way I can try to include some areas and get rid of others. So like, I don't want any of this. So I'm just going to select all of this to delete it. See how close I can get to all of this. I do want to include this shadow here though. Does someone let me have that? Okay, so if I select just this part that I want to keep, then if I go up to select and inverse, it'll choose everything else, and then all I have to do is hit the delete button, and it'll delete everything but the image that I like. All right, so now I'm going to go up and deselect. I'm going to go to my arrow right here and move this logo because I want to play around with it a little bit. All right, so I want to make this a color that I already have. So I have that purple color. So I'm going to go to my magic wand tool and I'm going to select this and hold down Shift and select that. And then I'm going to make it that purple color. Hit OK, go to my paintbrush and just paint over it. And that color is a little dull, so I'm going to deselect and then choose just that blue color. And I'm going to go in and use that blue that I have already with my stuff. Actually, if it's on the sign that's already blue, I think I might choose the green. So let's go to choose the green, hit OK. And then I'm going to come in with my paintbrush. See, I'll make sure that my color picker is on the right color and then just paint that green. Now I want to choose all of this again. So I'm going to go in with my magic wand and I'm going to hold Shift, and I have all of it selected. And now I'm going to resize it. So I want to go to Edit and I want to go to Free Transform. And that will have me resize it to where I want it. So I'm going to take it over here. I'm going to make it even smaller. Let's see how that looks. I'm going to hit Enter and then deselect. Pretty cool. I like it. You notice I have all these shadow lines over here. What I'm going to do is, since I'm on the layer that has that little logo on it, so I'm going to rename this so I remember that it's the logo. And I'm just double clicking to rename it. So this is my type layer. So you can see if I turn it off, that's where my type is. This is where my logo is. Turn that back on. This is my sign. This is my whole like image that I colored in. And this is just an extra layer. You could use it for something else if you wanted to, but I'm not going to. So I know that this is on my logo layer, right? Because if I turn off this eye, see how it disappears? So I've got all these little pieces down here. So I'm going to delete all of that. So I'm going to go through here with an eraser and I'm going to make it pretty large. So eraser tool, and it's only set to 15. I'm going to make it like, yeah, really big and just delete all those little pieces that were left over because the selection tool can get it like close, but not all the way. And that's why there's little extras there. All right, so let's say this is all the way done. I mean, obviously it's not because I didn't do my trees or finish this up. Maybe I put some color down here. But let's say this is all the way done. And I'm going to go to File. And you can save as a PSD, right? It'll save to your computer. And I can also do export as. If you're doing export as, and I would recommend this, export as and then JPEG. When that comes up, the quality is fine. It doesn't have to be perfect. Like, as long as I can see it clearly that you have done it, just hit save. And then what you'll do is you'll go back to Google Classroom, you'll turn it in for the assignment, and you'll select it from your computer. Okay? So we're using this site, Photopea. Again, I've heard it both ways, to add color and add designs, come up with some different things that you want to have on your exterior. If you wanted to, you could even, like, if I wanted to say vector tree, if I wanted to bring in some extra trees, or if I wanted to bring in like a shrub or something, right? You could add some of these extras in. So let me just show you while I have it here. Say I wanted to include this in the front. I would just save the image. I'll say flower bush, that's fine. Save it. Go back to my project, and maybe I want to have some flowers over here. I would do the same process. I would File, Open in Place. Since I saved my image, I'm going to look for my image here, Open. Now, when I see this, I see I don't want the white and I need to resize it, obviously. First thing I do when I bring in an image is I hit Enter. You can see that square there. So that square always means go up to Layer and Rasterize. Now I can do things to it. I'm going to use my magic wand tool, select the background that's white because I don't want it, and hit Delete. Okay. Then go up and deselect it. And then I'm going to resize it. So to resize it, I'll do the same thing, free transform. So I'm going to take it down. Always grab my corner. And maybe I want to rotate it a little bit to kind of fit in with what's happening here. Maybe I want to bring in some more. So I hit Enter. And maybe I do copy and paste. Make sure I'm on my move tool. Copy and paste. See if I can bring in a second one here. So I could just go over here, right click and do a duplicate layer, and then another one will show up. And if I click on my move tool, now I have two. And how could I rotate it? I just go back up here to edit and free transform, and I can move it around by the corners to make it bigger or smaller, or rotate it. Right? So if you wanted to add something extra, like if you wanted to put a car in front, or you wanted to, I mean, it's really, use your imagination, whatever you want to add in there. When you're done, just hit the Enter button. Okay, so you could add all kinds of things in here. The biggest thing I'm looking for your project is that you have some color on the exterior of a restaurant, that you have a sign, and that you have either a logo, see we have a logo here, or a slogan. You could have Cosmic Cafe where the stars in your coffee or something. You know what I mean? Like it's up to you. Whatever the name of your restaurant is, whatever works for you. Okay. And again, when you're done, make sure you do file, save as a PSD, and then export as a JPEG. Then you can turn in either one of those into Google Classroom. All right. If you have questions, let me know. As always, you can message me on Google Classroom or email me. Okay.